hundreds of pro-Palestinian activists took to the streets of Paris on Wednesday, welcoming recently released MEP Rima Hassan and showing solidarity with participants detained after a humanitarian flotilla aimed at Gaza.
I just want to say that this flotilla carried the hope of all humanity. This flotilla carried the anger of the people, and above all, something indescribable. The love of Palestine embraced by millions of people. And this love must carry us until the liberation of Palestine, whatever the political cost.
Protesters waved Palestinian flags, chanted slogans and held banners reading "Macron, stop the genocide," highlighting anger at international inaction and Israel's blockade.
What I blame France for is that when there were Spanish and Italian ships accompanying their flotilla, France did not do so. Yet it was asked to do so and did not. I know it was asked. That's the first thing. And secondly, according to my daughter, according to her testimony, the French consulate in Israel didn't do its job. It didn't do its job. When they arrived in Athens, the French consulate asked them to pay for their own tickets, while all the others, their governments, associations, and everyone else paid for their return tickets.
The European governments, and here in France, the French government, against which the Euro-Palestine Association has filed a complaint with the International Criminal Court for complicity in the genocide, also bear an overwhelming responsibility in the continuation of this genocide.
Rima Hassan called the flotilla a symbol of global hope and resistance, while activists praised supporters on land for pressuring Israel and sustaining the cause of Palestinian liberation. Families of detained activists recounted harrowing experiences of abuse and restraint during Israeli detention, describing hours in the sun and physical mistreatment, with critics accusing world leaders of failing to act. The flotilla, intended to deliver humanitarian aid, was intercepted by Israeli forces last week, who detained around 450 people. All have now been released, but the mission sparked protests worldwide. Demonstrators also marked the second anniversary of the October 7th Hamas attacks on southern Israel, condemning Israel's military response and calling for the withdrawal of troops from Gaza, release of Palestinian prisoners, and an end to occupation in the West Bank and East Jerusalem.
It's not a conflict, it's a genocide. So this marked the beginning of the implementation of the genocidal policy, or at least its acceleration. But the genocide was already underway. There was an apartheid regime and colonization. So this was not the beginning at all. It's the acceleration of the methods that were already being applied in Palestine. There were already camps. There were already people who had fewer rights than others because of their nationality.
Many activists criticized the US-brokered 20-point Gaza peace plan, arguing that it prioritizes political optics over the immediate suffering and humanitarian crisis facing Palestinians.
This has been happening for 75 years now, so October 7 is just a detail compared to what people in Gaza have been going through for 75 years. So we could come up with dates from 1900 and something. So there you go. It's certainly a tragedy. It's something that shouldn't be done, and we shouldn't be doing that to each other. But October 7th is not a way for them to justify what they are doing.
Since October 7th, 2023, Israeli operations have killed over 67,100 Palestinians and injured nearly 170,000, leaving Gaza devastated, with hospitals destroyed and civilians struggling for aid, as protests in Paris and worldwide continue to highlight the ongoing humanitarian catastrophe.